Shanies, welcome to Educating Shani. I'm Shani and I'm recovering from an eating disorder. Hi Shani, hi! Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Today, as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be talking about why I took down my suicide videos. So for those that don't know, I attempted suicide back in February. When it happened, it ended up being a life-changing experience and something that I felt strongly that I needed to share, even though I wasn't ready to. I felt that I needed to share it because I felt that somebody out there needed to hear it and that it would save their life, and it did. An hour after I posted it, I got 11 people. There's been a lot more since then, but just an hour after I posted it, I had 11 people message and say thank you for posting, that saved my life, and all of that. So I'm grateful that you know who you are, you 11 people, and anybody else who has helped since then as well, you know who you are. I'm so grateful that that could help you. The reason I decided to take it down, listen, let me just say this first. There's no easy way to talk about this subject. There is no easy way to talk about suicide. No matter what I say, I'm gonna upset somebody. And so at first there were a couple people upset, and I still felt that it was right to keep the video up, and so I did. And there were some people on the first video saying that it wasn't a good idea that I was talking about, because I was talking about my attempt and what happened during it while it was happening. And part of what happened is what I saw, like I started to cross over and I got a piece of what I believe was heaven. And I was able to see that. And I mentioned in the video that it did look beautiful, but that it didn't feel right for me to be there yet, you know? Anyway, so some people are like, that's really, you're glamorizing it, you're making suicide look like something that everyone would want to do and go to heaven and everything's perfect and everything da-da-da. And so I was like, oh, that's not what I meant. So then I made another follow-up video explaining what I meant and reiterating that although there was one tiny little part of it that was beautiful looking, the entire experience overall was traumatizing, and it was the scariest thing I've ever been through, and it made me experience feelings that I don't even think we are capable of as human beings. And I could only experience it as I was crossing over, and it was scary, and it was enough to scare the shit out of me to never do it again. Like, suicide is not an option in my mind anymore. So I wanted to explain that to the camera, and I was saying in that video where I was explaining, I said that I believe, because of my experience, that everybody who kills themselves regrets it halfway through. So whether they attempt in a way that they can stop themselves halfway through like I did, or the ones that go through with suicide, in my opinion, this is what I said, I was saying that I guarantee they regretted it too halfway through, but they didn't have the ability to stop it by the time they regretted it. So someone brought something up, and right when this was brought to my attention, this is when I took the videos down. Someone said something about how it would be really hard, and I should have known this because my sister killed herself. I should have known this, but she was saying it could be really hard for people who have lost someone to suicide to hear somebody say that they regret it halfway through, because that makes it even more painful for the people who have lost someone, because they're like, oh my gosh, she could have been saved or he could have been saved, but they regretted it, and that makes it even more painful because now it's like they're not here, and you know. And then another thing people were saying is it was really dangerous for me to say that I believe that literally everybody regrets it and that it's not peaceful, because I wanted to say just because I saw a piece of heaven doesn't mean that it was peaceful. It wasn't. For me, it wasn't. It was traumatizing and everything, and that also can be really hurtful to somebody who's lost someone to suicide or whatever. So it's like, this is so tricky to know how to talk about this, because if I share the heaven part of it and the beautiful part of it that I saw, then it's like I'm glamorizing suicide. But if I talk about how scary and the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life, and the most complete opposite of peace that you can think of feeling, then that can be damaging for the loved ones of someone who committed suicide, to either be like, oh my gosh, they could have stopped themselves halfway through, or oh my gosh, their death was awful. their death was the scariest thing possible that you can, and then that would be even harder for them. You know what I mean? I'm sure I'm not making sense. I'm not good at explaining this, but someone did leave a comment that I want to read, and then I'm going to tell you my feelings on all of this. So Wildflower Tea, hey girl, said, I absolutely love your channel. I absolutely love your channel, Shani, and I enjoy hearing what you have to say on things. But I have to admit, this one and the past couple, speaking about your attempt, although it showcases so much inner strength to even share it with us, I do worry that it may be sending the wrong message to others. As you said before, it is very sensitive, and so many are out here that could see this and be struggling. And while it isn't your responsibility to save everyone, I do know that you want to help as many people as possible, and that's the only reason I feel it's important to tell you that your message here is a bit blurred and confusing to those who may be on the verge of something like suicide. To speak on the beauty and then say, but the fear is way worse than the beauty I've seen. Then to say you won't go to hell if you kill yourself, but don't do it. Oh, that's another thing I addressed, how someone had left a comment saying that saying that if you kill yourself, you'll go to hell, because that's murder. And in the Bible, it says if you murder someone, you go to hell. And I was saying that I don't believe that. And I'm a Christian and everything, and I just don't. I believe that you have to be very far gone to get that low to commit suicide, that you're not even in your own, you're not you. You're gone. You're dead inside already. And but I can see how that, again, this is so hard to talk about, because how am I supposed to say, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, I know that my sister is in hell because she killed herself. I'm not going to say that, because I know she's not. I can feel it. I know that God has grace for her. But at the same time, I don't want to be telling people that are scared of hell. And if hell is the only thing that's keeping you here, then I don't want to be like, yeah, you're not going to go to hell, so you might as well, you know what I mean? Like, this is so hard to talk about. So that's what she's talking about. Then to say that you won't go to hell if you kill yourself, but don't do it. These are very dangerous comments to someone who may be on the verge of doing something like that, as I'm sure you know. I care about you, Shani, and I just had to be honest about this. No, I appreciate you telling me. I really do. I wanted to say something in the last video, but didn't want to think I was criticizing your story and the strength that you showed in being able to stop attempting and pushing forward. I think it's so important to share your story, so important for your own healing as well as helping others, but we must really choose our words wisely. Just some advice, you don't have to take it, but instead of saying you won't go to hell if you kill yourself, you could say, I don't believe that you will go to hell if you kill yourself, but none of us truly know. So if you feel in your heart that you may go to hell and that helps you push through that moment, that's all that really matters. I hope this makes sense and it doesn't come off hateful, because I'm in no way trying to be. Like I said, I really enjoy your content and I'm so proud of you, but this does concern me for others, how freely it's spoken about in a very sensitive way, and I worry for others. Thank you for your comment, Wildflower Tea. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so look, I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. I also don't, because making that video I knew would save somebody, and it did, and so I'm grateful for that. But I'm also so sorry if I gave off any anything that made, if you're suicidal, anything that maybe made you want to do it more or something. That was never my intent. My intent has always been the exact opposite, but I took the videos down because I think that it's just not worth the risk. And although they did help at least 11 people, there's actually way more than that, but it's like, if I'm hurting one person out there, or if I don't know, I care about you guys, I care about my audience, and the last thing I would want is to accidentally not encourage it, but to make it look not the way it is. So I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't figured out how I will talk to you about this in the future. But I know that I'm grateful that this person and a couple other people brought up some concerns, because it really got me thinking, and things that I should have thought about ahead of time. And while I'm not ashamed that I shared my story, I just feel really bad the way that I did it. And so I need to figure out a way that is a safer way to share my story and be true to myself and what I experienced, because I know I'm supposed to share it. That's like why I'm here still. And still try and be sensitive in every way that I can. It's just a very difficult topic to do that with. It's really hard. But I will do my best. And I apologize. I just want to reiterate, and I hope this doesn't do the opposite, but please get help. If you are feeling suicidal, if you're feeling, if you're struggling even with self-harm, eating disorders, anything that's harming yourself, you're on your way to possibly getting suicidal. And if you're any of those things, please get help. And I'm back in therapy now. Therapy is so important, and if you have the resources and you have the ability to get therapy, please do. And if not, reach out. There are so many churches, so many different religions that can help you with that. You could talk to a school counselor, you could talk to your own parents, you could talk to your friends' parents. And if you don't have anybody in your life, call the hotlines. There's eating disorder ones, self-harm ones. I'm going to link all the suicide ones below. If you're feeling suicidal, please call them. I've called them so many times throughout my life, and they are the nicest people in the world. They're so nice and not intimidating at all, and just very like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Let's chat, like really cool. At least the ones I've always gotten. So they're amazing, and use those resources out there, and just know that my experience was my experience, and I apologize for saying that I know for a fact that XYZ, whatever I said, that people regret it, or that people do not go to hell, or that people whatever. I shouldn't have been so definitive on those things, and I apologize for that. So in the future, when I tell my story again, I will make it clear that this is my story. This is how it was for me, and if this helps anyone, then great, and if not, then that sucks. But even if it helps one person, it's worth it. So just know that I know that your life is worth living, and that I truly believed from the bottom of my soul that I was meant to kill myself. I truly believed that, and I gave up on life, and it affected every part of life. It affected even the way I spent money, because like, why save money? You're gonna die anyway. Suicide and suicidal thoughts are so scary already, and for those of us that always have them in our heads, it's hard to deal with, but you can learn how in therapy. So please get help if you need to, and trust me, therapy's wonderful, and I'm excited to be doing the trauma therapy that's coming up in my therapy. I'm nervous about it, but I'm also excited, and there's no shame in it. I think everyone could use therapy. I think it's wonderful, and there's other things you can do too. There's inpatient treatment, there's outpatient treatment, there's there's meetings that you can go to, kind of like AA meetings, except for eating disorders or suicide. Actually, are there suicide meetings? There should be. If not, maybe I should start one. Maybe that's what I could do. I could start like a meeting somehow, and do a YouTube weekly suicide meeting that is similar to Eating Disorders Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous. So like Suicide Anonymous or Suicidal Anonymous or something. But it wouldn't be anonymous if it was on, I don't know. What do you think of that? That just popped in my head. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. Let me know. Anyway, I hope that clears it up. And if you have any follow-up questions about this, please let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll do a Q&A. I might do a Q&A anyway tomorrow, because yesterday's video I asked you to leave questions about our new house. So I might combine the two. If you have any questions from this video or comments that you would like me to read, let me know in the comments below. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Leave me questions. And I love you, and remember forever and always that you're beautiful, you are worth it, and I am too. Thank you for watching. Bye!